G'day everyone, and welcome back to another shell finding adventure. Yes, we are finally in the new year, and yes, we are finally back to the beach. Our first shell find today, I can't believe it, I've just spotted a beautiful little mini. Yes, he is all whole on the top. This is one that I haven't found in so long. They only get about this big. It is a varicolored thade. Bit of an odd name, but I think it's in the droop family. Anyway, we've got about an hour before the tide starts coming up again, so let's check out the sand. Let's check out some rock pools. Let's see if the holiday crowds have left us with anything. Next up, we have, are you any good on the top? Wait, is there a creature inside? No, it looks empty. Awesome, it's a little cone shell. It is the most common cone shell here. It is a crowned cone. Well, I was just starting to pick up some of the usual things. That one there is a tortoise dove shell, and that one's a little pheasant shell. Super common. And then I noticed, very bright on the sand here. Oh, look at that. I do not find many of these, so I always get a bit excited over him. It is an organ pipe coral, I think was the name of it. These clusters, like I've seen them in stores and stuff, they're absolutely, they can be absolutely massive, all with this kind of latticed coral structure. Super cool, but only the small pieces wash up here. Also, let's not confuse the beautiful organ pipe coral with this other kind of red coral that pops up here. This stuff is very common. I don't even pick it up anymore. I do like the nice organ pipe coral though. It's just like a nicer red color. I didn't know how much there would be on the sand. I mean, it's not really like the mini kind of tide right now, but it seems like I'm getting a lot of minis. This one is a red-toothed top shell. I should really be checking the water because the tide's going to start coming up soon. But there's just so many nice minis on the sand, I can't help myself. This one, yes, it is empty. This one is another top shell. It is the handsome top shell. Oh, I think I'm excited for you. Yes, oh, he's whole. I don't know if someone stepped on it or if he just landed up like that. Yeah, there we go. Looks like a little nebulose sand snail. Slightly chipped on that opening, but still pretty good. And I want him to, yes, we're going to take the big bean trivia. I mean, he's just a small shell, but this one's quite large for what he is. Oh, I see you down there. Nice little cone shell. Give it to me. There we go. He looks empty in the opening. It looks like an orange crowned cone, doesn't it? Wow, he's got a good point there. Lots of green, though. This one isn't a crowned cone. It is the 1,000-spot cone. It's a bit more uncommon here. Alrighty, we better get out into the rock pools before I can't be out into the rock pools anymore. There we go, first cowrie of the year. It's just a nice little graceful cowrie. Looks like he's got all of his colouring on top. He looks joined and obviously empty. There we go. We got ourselves a little discrepant Venus. They're super cool. They're becoming more and more common here. I am on the other side of the lighthouse. The tide is pretty much starting to come up now. Once again, same as the last time I was here, I didn't really have enough time to get up, drive here before the sun came up to look around. Anyway, we've got ourselves a common pippy shell over here. I guess you would call it a coquina clam if you were in the United States, but here we just call them pippies. A little clandestine cowrie, but are you any good? I think it's fine. It looks like it doesn't have any damage on it. Yeah, this is just a little clandestine cowrie. They don't get much bigger than that. That's about maximum size. Snakehead just sitting there. Are you alive or crabbied or something? Oh, it's a live one. I can feel it. There we go. Let's take a look at him. Yes, his goopy guy is in there. He's got all this kind of shell grit and sand grit stuck to him. That is a nice live snakehead cowrie. Wow, look at that. He's got a big fish bite out of the top of him. So a fish saw him, gave him a bit of a chomp and decided that, wow, that wasn't actually food. Anyway, we will put him right back where we got him from. Maybe a bit up there so he doesn't swash around in the waves too much. There are some very broken and old and worn away minis on this side of the lighthouse. But I might collect this guy because he looks like he's pretty nice. It is a black neurite. It's different than the blotched neurites I find on the other side of the lighthouse, or on the main side, I guess. Which side is the main side? Anyway, I'm going to head back over there because it seems like there wasn't terribly much to find in the rock pools before the water started to come up, so I guess it's a mini day. Well, I am on this side of the lighthouse again. I usually start further up because Even though there's usually less minis over there, there's a better chance of finding nice shiny cowries. But anyway, I am over here where there's usually a lot of minis, but what can you see missing from the sand over here? There is no minis today. There's also almost no cowries anywhere either, because I think the tourists have, collected exclusively cowries and larger shells. Anyway, the tide's been coming up for about 40 minutes, so I can't look out in the water, and there's nothing on the sand. Therefore, I shall see you again another day. There simply isn't enough to collect today. Oh, look at him, just as I was walking off the beach. Hello. He is like the largest one of these guys I've ever found. He is extremely delicate. Semi-transparent moon snail. I believe the name that I found for this one was something like the mysterious velvet snail. I'm not even kidding. That is the English name I came up for this one. Super cool, super delicate little mini moon snail. And we're back 4 days later. My sunrise shelling adventure didn't really find very many shells in the end. Hopefully today is better. Just starting off, I've noticed this guy in the rock pools. Is he any good? Oh yes, everyone, he is good. I was looking at that and I thought, did someone just pick that up and toss it aside because it was terrible? Honestly, not shiny on the inside. It's an abalone. It's supposed to be very shiny, but it's not. But the top side looks pretty cool. I believe this one is the honey abalone, or also called the caloundra abalone. And also, I will mention this as I wade out further. Hopefully you can hear me over the breeze. I don't think today is going to be a good rock pool day. The tide or the water level will not get any lower than this. It's actually a very high low tide today. But anyway, just wanted to have a little look-see. Honestly, when the low tide is very high, it pushes a lot of sand into the spaces around here. So we'll probably look at the sand over there for some more minis. Yes, I'll take you. Maybe? Yeah, it looks nice on top. It's just a little scaly scallop. There's a moon snail under there. I'm pretty sure it's a crabbed one. It's not what I'm after. I want this little one. Yeah? Yeah, why not? Oh, I'm sorry, that was off camera. This one is a juvenile cowrie, so it's a cowrie before it grows both sides of its teeth on the base there. This one should be a juvenile eroded cowrie. Well, I was just getting a bit of beach trash out of the ocean. I'm surprised they're all intact. Every time I find sunglasses, they're almost always broken. Anyway, the thing I wanted to look at was this guy. I might have to zoom in because I don't want to pick him up because he's very fragile and he's also alive. Right down in there is a brown-lined paper bubble snail. You can see his lovely stripy shell, and that red ruffle all around him is the snail itself. It can't retract in fully into the shell. Anyway, once again, he is very delicate, so I won't pick him up, and I'll just leave him to his snaily business while I enjoy my new shades. Is that a whole one? I think there's a cone shell next to it, so I'm going to kind of try to flick it up. Yeah, it's a whole one, as in it has both sides. It's nice and joined. It is a discrepant Venus shell. Did I find one of these last time? I mean, earlier in this episode. I swear I feel like this episode is cursed, everyone. Don't ask me why. It is a lovely shell. We're finally onto the sand. Please excuse my big shadow. I'm kind of trying to block the wind from us. I'm just going to be picking up a lot of the usual minis, starting off with these little pebble urchins, little puffy sand dollars, little mini sand dollars, and I might collect up a few of these when I see them as well. Yes, they are little top shells that only get about this big. They are the Stranger's little top shells. That's a nice adult-sized one. Yeah, I think so. He looks pretty good, although I think he's a bit calcified on top. It's not surprising. I think they spend a lot of time out in the sun. This one is an obelisk sand creeper. Hello, what are you? Do you have a crab? I don't see a crab or a mollusk inside, but I'll keep an eye on it. Look at how cool this one is. I think it's a type of periwinkle. It's not the blue periwinkle I find here. Wow, it's got a very nice purple opening. It's probably some other kind of periwinkle that I just don't see. It's probably, it's probably from a different environment than the headlands. I got no idea where it washed in from. There is not much on the sand on this side of the beach either, everyone. I think it might even be less than the first part of this episode, the first day. There is a tiny rack line with some things. I think it's mostly been picked over by the last 2 or 3 weeks of holiday makers and the rough tides. I think this episode is cursed at this point. Are you whole, sir? It's just a little one. Oh, it is whole. Look at him. It is a juvenile Spangler's trumpet. I hardly ever see them this small. Actually, I haven't seen many Spangler's trumpets empty either. There's been a lot of live ones in the rock pools though. Well, I'm up on the high rack line to put away some litter that I found because the bin is up here. I accidentally put my my shell gathering box down on it when I put the lid back on. It is, if you can see it, there is a swirl on top. It is a little operculum. Oh, there we go. I think it's probably the second smallest one I've ever found. I've only got one about the same size that I would call maybe a bit smaller than that. Yes, we can always rely on one of these being around. It's the one we've all been waiting for. It is a blotched neurite, one of the most common shells around here. This one is, ooh, yeah, he looked all right on top, didn't he? Yeah, that is all of his brown periostracum on the shell. This one, I think, is a hairy arc shell. Anyway, that would be my best guess. I have found them at Harvey Bay a few times, and they're probably like 6 times the size, or 6 times the length when I get them from up there. But down here, I usually find some small ones on the rack lines. Oh, he's a nice shiny one. Yes, not much on the sand, so we're checking the rock pools again. It is a graceful cowrie. Did I pick up one of these earlier? I'm sure I did. And we're gonna collect this guy too. It is a piece of lace coral. Oh my goodness, do we think that is whole? I don't know if you can see it. It's right. I've lost sight of it. Right in there underneath that bit of coral. Can I lighten that up? Not really. I think it is a chestnut-banded moon snail. I just got to try to wiggle it out. Wiggle. Oh, that's the coral, and that's the moon snail. Oh, shoot, I dropped it. There we go. Why didn't I just move the entire rock to begin with? It's a nice one. It's a nice one, everyone. The entire episode has been saved with one shell that I am very happy with. Oh, that's nice. And I'm not surprised that no one found that, because you'd have to really be looking in the right spot for it. It is a beautiful chestnut-banded moon snail. They are very, very not common here. Also very not common in nice condition. So even though this one's got like a slight chip on the lip, oh my goodness, it's very, very pretty and a very good one. And yes, I will put that back. I need 2 hands. I will put that back down into position. It was a 2-hander, everyone. It's another one of those common pippies. Yeah, I might take him. I always find that these guys look better with pairs. There is literally a bunch of people behind me, and there was like 10 people here when I came around earlier and poked my head around the lighthouse. How did none of them see those? Okay, the deer cowrie is an old one. I'm more interested in the shiny one. Sir, are you beautiful and alive? Oh, it's a nice one. It's a nice unoccupied one, and it looks pretty good. He doesn't feel super shiny, but oh my goodness, that patterning on top is very nice. This one is a green tinted cowrie. They're not very common here. I usually find very old, worn away ones at Harvey Bay because they like to live on the sand instead of these rocky headland areas. Oh, that's super exciting. I finally feel like I've been uncursed. My goodness, I kid you not. There was like 15 people when I looked around here earlier. Okay, I think his tip is slightly knocked off. I'm still counting that as a win. It's a very cute little zebra volute. There is another zebra volute under there. I can't see if it's any good or not because the sun is right above and it's making the water ripple. It does have the tip. It is unoccupied. It's a bit discolored, but you know what? I think it's a fine little shell. It can come with us as well. And here we go, everyone. This is the entire collection for 2 days at the home beach. And it's a lot smaller than I hoped for, but at the same time, at the very end, I did get a couple of shells that I'm very happy with. So yes, here are the shell finds for this week. And if you have enjoyed them, please hit that like button for me and subscribe if you want to see more shelling adventures. I gotta say, everyone, it's going to be slim pickings for a while. I went to the beach yesterday too, and I got even less than this, so it's just going to be how it's going to be. But anyway, it is time to talk about favorites and special mentions now from this time. So if you do have favorites, please let me know down in the comments. I do want to highlight maybe first of all this lovely piece of organ pipe coral. I don't find much of it, so it's still pretty cool to me. Ooh, don't drop anything, Maddie. Probably want to highlight the nice abalone ride here. again, never very sure which one, but probably the honey abalone. Not super shiny on that back, but it actually looks pretty cool on the front. And I'm also going to highlight the... My goodness, there's lots of nice little minis, actually. That's like the one redeeming feature, was that there's lots of unusual minis. Probably the varicolored Thade. I think it's in the rock shell or the murex family. Like, technically all drupes and rock shells are in the murex family, so it's one of those. But on to the favorites, everyone. My goodness, I think there's two that just stand well above the rest for me. And I found them, like, after the place had been picked over by probably like half a dozen shellers that I saw. Oh, go away, little bug. It is, first of all, the chestnut banded sand snail, kind of hidden right in the shadow between two rocks. I always check that rock because I found nice shells in between that rock before. So yeah, it's just a happenstance that I happened to look at that. And finally, this guy was peeking out at me in a spot that I for sure saw people looking in. So it's just amazing what your eyes do and don't land on. It is the lovely green tinted cowrie. So yep, those two are the top favorites for the day. And that's it for this time, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.